Well, hello everybody, this is Snoo. Welcome back. I have a much anticipated video for you. I think I have cracked the code on solo ghosting, or ghost busting. Not with organized party play, not with a duo, not with an Orbot, not even solo, where one player logs out and logs back in to a different character in order, one to ghost touch the monsters, one to clear the map. Totally valid ways to play the game. But for me personally, I really wanted to simplify it, keep it convenient for myself, build an all-in-one character. I knew it would be a challenge. I'd have to stretch myself pretty thin. There was a lot of banging my head against the wall for a while there, but a lot of wonderful breakthroughs in the process. So what you're about to see is the culmination of roughly 2 weeks worth of trial and error. And, I guess just take this as some sort of guide on how to set it up if you are interested in going about it this way. I do have to state the disclaimer, not recommended on a budget. My character here is worth well over a mirror. What kind of budget can you pull this off on? I don't know. I haven't given that a huge amount of thought, but I'm going to show you the tools and the tricks that I'm using in full. We're going to do a full clear map. I'm going to explain everything best I can. Not going to go real deep on the whys and other surface level things. This is really dedicated to the how to do it. So solo ghosting involves going around collecting all the ghosts and trying to efficiently touch a lot of different monsters in the map. You can touch up to 50 monsters per ghost, loading the map with a lot of ghosts. Which monsters should you do? A lot of people wonder, what about strongbox monsters? What about other monsters? I believe that the best monsters to do this for are the monsters that are native on the map, because as I understand, the quantity multipliers are additive with one another. In Enraged Strongbox versus the touched buff, both of them are just additive with monsters. They may even suffer diminished returns. It's kind of unknown. That sort of thing's not really been tested thoroughly. But what is known is that monsters that spawn when the map is opened receive a bonus separate multiplier of quantity and rarity through delirium. It's only really confirmed that those specific monsters do, and typically any sort of league mechanic monsters do not, and certainly Enraged Strongbox monsters that spawn do not. So, for that reason, especially if you're running Delirium, I think that the prime candidates for ghosting are the monsters that are just spawned at the beginning of the map, which makes it really simple and actually a lot easier to execute. So that is how I'm going to be going about clearing this map, just so you can kind of get it in your head how it's going to happen. But let's go ahead and take a look at this map. I already got it open, confirmed a Delimir has spawned. You can see the map mods are kind of rough. Just for demonstration, I'm going to show this with a minus max all res map, and some other nasty mods. It's pretty easy map otherwise, but it could certainly be easier, so that's nice. I can show you on a map that's not the easiest map ever. I'm going to be using tech that I talked about in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into major detail on this. You can watch the previous video talking about this cool weapon swap tech to get a lot of added defense. Long story short, I get full-blown fortify and up to 5 endurance charges, as well as a whole bunch of added recovery through the life on hit, as well as life back per stun. I get a bunch of goodies on the shield, including a lot of max life and life regen, which translates to rage regen, which translates to berserk, which translates to even more survivability and movement speed. I am using a mage blood, so a lot of extra budget there. I don't think you have to use mage blood here to do this, but the problem is if you don't have permanent onslaught and quicksilver uptime, you're not going to move nearly as fast as what you see here, likely. This will involve one item swap recommended by my community. I was very much against the idea of doing an item swap, but I did say then, if that item I'm swapping is so unbelievably overpowered for its purpose, by golly, I will do it. And it certainly passed that test. We have Defiance of Destiny here, gain up to, Catalysted and perfectly rolled, 42% of missing unreserved life before being hit by an enemy. Now that still works under the threshold for Petrified Blood, but it would synergize in a sense with that, because 42% is basically almost my entire life pool with Petrified Blood, and it will synergize terrifically with Progenesis, which already synergizes with Petrified Blood. So a terrific three-hit combo here of survivability going on and recovery built in. And so between the weapon swap, wearing a shield, endurance charges, fortify, all of that goody stuff with the life, that is where I'm able to take a glass cannon bow build of a Deadeye and execute just kind of running through the map like a righteous fire character, something might do that, you know, a very tanky Jug or whatever have you, without dying in most cases. So here's my main amulet. And one of the really cool things about it being an amulet is that my main amulet gets an offensive anoint, and the defensive amulet can get a defensive anoint, so long as you set up your build so that you don't require sovereignty to work. So I would highly recommend trying to make it so you don't need sovereignty. By the way, this build will be linked in the description in the POB. This is a newly finished Sublime Vision, now Supreme Ego, Fizz to Element Conversion Magic Find Tornado Shot Deadeye. And it is basically my take on a super advanced high-end Magic Find Tornado Shot archetype character. I absolutely love it. It does way more damage than I expected. It even has a Mana Forge link here, 2 different Mana Forge links. Kind of made it like I did my Lightning Arrow Deadeye from last league. Very similar in that sense. I'm not going to talk any more about the build specifically. The strategy is for this one particular map, just very typical tree here. The focus is on Beyond, Delirium combined, Enraged Strongboxes. No Legion like last league, but instead focusing on Ghosts instead and spawning Delirium naturally because I want to use the Magic Pack size Sexton, especially with the focus being touched monsters. You can only touch normal and magic monsters. That's also why I'm using Bisco's Collar, because I think it's going to synergize terrifically in that sense. I've talked about that stuff many times on stream, of course. And then, let's see, what else should we say? I guess that's about it. So there you go. You got the map mods, you got the build, you got the atlas. I know there'll be questions in the comments, perhaps, but let's go ahead and get started on this map. I'm not going to start by hitting Delirium because it actually bricks the ghosts. They stop moving, so this works out fine. You know, I can go around and get the ghost, and then got to make sure I have the right amulet on. I'm going to be weapon swapping, and if I'm about to die, you know, maybe I'll weapon swap and fire some arrows. Otherwise, hopefully the defenses and the recovery will take care of itself. So like usual, I would kind of rush the boss. I gotta make sure Progenesis is up, maybe. Doing this on a Pathfinder wouldn't be bad to have higher Progenesis uptime, certainly, as well as it's good for the Divination Distillate anyway. But I don't need Divination Distillate now because I'm not killing anything. So I grabbed a ghost, which meant I had even more power against the boss. That's nice. 50 monsters can be ghosted per ghost, so I can load up multiple ghosts at once, but I cannot get possessed by the same type of ghost at the same time. So if you ever see me stand on a ghost and instead of possessing me, it just runs away, that's because I'm already possessed by that type of ghost. That's a misconception I think some people have. So every single monster on here spawned when the map opened. I've not even spawned the Influence yet. I've not triggered any strong boxes. There's an expedition that spawned naturally. Einar actually spawned on the map, so I can't touch or possess a beast because it's rare, so that doesn't really matter, but I mean it's a nice bonus, I suppose. Gonna hit Progenesis second time, fire arrows once, and I might have spawned the Influence there. No, maybe not. Okay, I got an extra round of Progenesis, so that's why I did that arrow fire. I was about to die, so I am having to pay attention to that. So I still do have to focus on what I'm doing a little bit here, but at least I'm not just dying right and left. It's not super infuriating to do this. And again, this is not an easier map. This is a minus max res map, so I'm certainly taking more damage than I would on some maps. Not saying this is the hardest map ever, but other map mods that I don't recommend running would be the one that increases monsters' movement speed and attack speed. By the way, I did put that back in. I am running that again, but only as of now. I also put no leech map back in because I have plenty of other recovery. Otherwise, the only map mods I absolutely will not run are both reflects, because with the shield charge and a Watcher's Eye conversion mod, I can't really run any reflect maps. No regen I'm not running because I don't want to brick my Berserk entirely. That just sounds like a bad idea. I've basically done the job, as you can see. Let's go ahead and spawn the Influence by attacking one more time. And it's a good idea to spawn the Influence, do one last check maybe for ghosts. It happens all the time. I'll see ghosts still somewhere in the map. I think there's probably like a 70% chance there's a ghost left somewhere, and I'll see it on the go. But you know, maybe not. I'm spawning the Eldritch minions, which is nice because, as you know, Eater of World Eldritch minions have a delayed spawn, and if you go through the map, clearing the map, you might miss them and miss altars, especially later on when you're opening strong boxes. So if I'm going to go through the trouble of ghosting a map like this, of course I'm going to go through the trouble of unlocking all the altars before I start opening strong boxes. So also, it is known that the Delirium Mirrors sometimes brick Eldritch minions packs that spawn, so I'm basically two birds, one stone here by unlocking the minions. I'm not going to miss the kills, not going to miss the altars, and I'm going to get all the packs spawned as well by opening it. So it's pretty cool. Like I can feel good about taking a little bit of extra time for two purposes here. So this is a Delirium Mirror. I am not using the Keystone, didn't invest any points into that. Don't need to when the build is this fast. This build has over 40 million DPS, at least with certain parameters set up. I took some hard hits there, but survived. Not bad. I don't need to worry about killing everything. Beyond will spawn behind me. Not going to mess with that. Altars kicking in. Grand Eldritch. Okay, maybe I should hit quantity rarity on this kind of farm instead of Grand Eldritch, but oh well. Most of the monsters that are still alive behind me are beyond monsters, so it doesn't really matter. They can't spawn an altar anyway, right? You can see I'm pretty methodically clearing everything. The mirror is going to catch up with me pretty soon, but I'm still moving forward. The back end here, the monsters have the most delirious amount, maybe 40, 60%. So kind of the highest loot potential is kind of back here with those monsters that just spawned. That is a nasty, nasty rare. And we did get an enlightened card, actually. Okay, so that is kind of phase 2 of the map. I've already done the phase 1. It involved rushing the boss, ghosting everything up. Now I've gone through and I've cleared all of the Eldritch packs. Now this is what I would call phase 3 of the clear, which involves looting. In this case, I go ahead and I do the looting and... Oh, that's a red beast. As well as opening all the Enraged Strong boxes to have Rogue Exiles, Stragglers, Beyond Mobs. Kind of make sure they die, good and dead. Ah, yeah, I honestly probably should have just turned the Deli Mirror off instead of trying to fight that red beast through that. But here's what I do now to make sure I don't miss any strong boxes, because this is super high investment. This is over 2 divines invested per map. Is it the best strategy out there now? I don't know, but I'm inclined to believe it might be. If you go through the trouble of executing it the way I am. So you can see we got the right amulet on. Bisco's on. I switched it out when I hit the Delirium Mirror. Going down the middle, because in the past, when I would miss a strong box in the map, usually it would be down the middle on one of the aisles. So I'm getting in the habit of just doing it this way to make sure I don't miss any. Although I should be looting. The Gambler card is not actually worth anything. I use it to track my results. I'm getting easily over 20 gamblers per map. With this strat and this style, I think it's maybe closer to 20, 25, perhaps. But anyway, everything is looted down the middle aisle, so it's time to do one of the 2 wings. Okay, once you have a character strong enough with a ton of freeze, you don't even have to worry about dying, opening a strong box. You just basically face tank everything that comes out, even the Beyond Mobs that spawn, because I have enough cold damage that I just freeze everything. Which reminds me, there's one other map mod that I don't run anymore, and that's the one where monsters have over 100% chance to avoid elemental ailments, because I don't want to deal with that bricks brittle and shock and freeze as well as kills. So kind of felt like I should probably just not run that map. A lot of Gambler cards, picking up a lot of uniques, heavy leather belts. And, oh, I guess that beast did drop this, perhaps. Of course, I'm going to check all the belts. Unlike the last video, I guess. And we've now looted everything except 1 wing over here. Those are some dangerous Beyond Mobs there that can definitely kill me in some cases. There still are a few types of mobs that I actively try to avoid or dodge. Oh, right, I still got to do this expedition, so it's okay if I wait to the end. You know, I got all the maximized altars. I don't think I'm going to focus too hard on this, but that looks like a pretty good spot. Immune to lightning damage. Okay, most of my damage is cold anyway. Should be fine. Expedition is the highest likelihood of dying. Will be right here. Just get one shot by something. Like whatever that is will probably one shot me if I try to run through it. So I usually try to be a little bit extra careful. Well, I mean, it depends on if I have any portals left or not. I have all 5 remaining portals left, so not a big deal. Okay. With the big bomb, expedition, random spawn chance, I feel like it's a lot of value putting in some of the extra points to have a high chance to randomly spawn an expedition. I think I have around an 80% chance to spawn an expedition on every map. It feels pretty good. I like the loot that comes out of there. Uh-oh, okay. Got him. Okay, as far as I know, everything is cleared and looted. So let's see if I did a thorough job. We'll go back through the map. This is one reason why I love the weapon swap here. Again, for this part, used to feel kind of bad to try and rescout the entire map, but it doesn't feel bad whenever I got this going on. Okay, yeah, go figure. Last mob. A burrower beast, yellow beast. I think I'll forget about that mob. I'm 99% sure that everything has been picked up. Yeah. You know what? I'm already here. We'll see if I can get my revenge here. See if I can go. I hate fighting this mob type. This is the main reason why I don't like to do harvest. Yep, okay. In the end, it took me 3 portals, I guess. So there's the loot. I got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 gambler cards. And that is a pretty good showing. So at this point, I will begin depositing the loot, and I will start putting everything away into my dump tab. This just happens to be what I'm doing right now, a sample size. I got 2 enlightened cards. I don't think I made my money back on that map, but the averages will be what they are. So there you go. That is my strategy currently, and again, finally reaching a point where it's not just viable, but actually comfortable to do on one character. It took a while, took a lot of gear, took a lot of trial and error again. But I'm quite happy and pleased where it is, and it's good enough. It's in a good enough state for me that I am absolutely all for continuing to play the game this way if the rewards are going to justify it. And for me, roughly 20% more loot across the board, and perhaps a lot more in terms of uniques, actually, definitely suggests to me it is worth it. And it especially unlocks the potential of doing the super high-end juicing. So stay tuned, because a super high juicing video is probably coming to a YouTube channel near you. All right, we're going to leave you there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know you guys are going to have some questions. I know some of you guys are going to tell me, oh, this looks so bad. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's all right. Like I said, it's not for everybody. I don't mind, but I at least want to put this out there to let you see what it looks like, see how it's done, so you can get some sense of whether it is something you would like to pursue in the future. All right. Heads held high. I am done with this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.